How's it going, guys? Bringer Platoon here, and welcome to another phenomenal game in World of Tanks, Xbox One Edition. Today I'm going to be in the Tier 9 Swedish tank destroyer, let me just say this right, the Strv 1030. So, this thing is phenomenal, and the only thing separating it from its Tier 10 counterpart is the little bit, well, you get a little bit more mobility from the Tier 8 to the Tier 9 in the line. You get a fucking shit ton of mobility in siege mode when you get to the Tier 10, and compared to this thing, it's fast as shit. Like, you get to turn left and right while in siege mode, I would say maybe 50 or 60 degrees a second. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a moment, but I'm back. And it's got a heat shield on it, which you don't really... It's not really useful in this tank, I don't think, that much, but if they do happen to use, you know, high explosive or heat against your tank, then it will do less damage, or no damage at all, which is great. So, here's my strategy for this tank. You can see my loadout is respectable 30-something rounds and 16 premium rounds and 3 high explosives, which I honestly took them off. Because, 1, you don't need them, and 2, they're not worth it, because if you hit the guns of, like, Waffen Triggers or Borsigs, or Waffle E100s, it's not worth it. Or the Grill 15, forgot about the Grill 15. But if you hit the gun, or anywhere near the gun with a high explosive, you're not going to go through, and you're going to waste all that damage you could have done by getting a low roll of double digits. So, that's why I took those off. So, let's get into the stats of this thing. It has the dispersion for the gun in siege mode. Everything siege mode is all we care about. So the dispersion for the gun in siege mode is 0.29. I don't know what it says on console, but that's what it is. The shell velocity is like 15,000 something meters per second, which is phenomenal. The camouflage is 68 out of 100. Its view range is ass, it's only at 360, which is really disappointing, but you deal with it because you have phenomenal camo, so you make it work with binocs, camo net, and a gun laying drive, just to up that DPM a little bit, which, by the way, is either 3,000 or 3,500 base. I forget which. Just look it up on tanks.gg, and you'll see how great this tank really is when it shines. Now, when it doesn't shine is when you're facing gun calibers of 120, well, anything higher than 121 caliber, and you're going to have a problem, because they will auto-pen you in the front, in the side, in the ass end, everywhere. So, as you can see, I'm doing my damnedest to keep my tank hidden. Probably should have aimed that shot better, but I am very, very far behind the trees just to maximize my camo rating with this camo net and binoculars up. I could move up a little bit and respot him, but I decided it's safer to just stay in the back. I don't know where that shot went in that Conqueror. I don't know if I missed, but it looked like it went right into the tank, so that kind of pissed me off. And ironically, going from the UDES 03 to this thing, your gun gets less accurate, and that kind of pisses me off as well, because the Strv 1030, the tank that I'm currently driving, has 0.29 dispersion. Okay, the UDES 03 in siege mode has 0.25. Why? Why, game? And as you can see, I'm getting pissed off, because when I hit tanks in their weak spots, I expect to be rewarded with damage, just like that. And even as I shot that shell, it looked like the shell arced off a little to the bottom right, so yay, RNG. That can work for you or against you. The great thing about this thing is you don't have to worry about not penetrating your targets, because, well, your regular rounds have 308 standard penetration, which is great. And your premium rounds have 350, I believe. Yes, 350. And while you're using APCR, since you use a little bit of penetration over long distances, if you're facing, let's say, a Type 5 or Type 4 heavy, you can dab into those premium rounds and just be extra sure that you'll go through upon hitting his front armor. Or, you know, just get closer, which I wouldn't recommend, because once this thing is hit, you're going to lose a crew member, or your engine's going to die, or you're going to get tracked and your engine's going to die. And if you get detected, and if you're not sure where people are, just fuck off. Just relocate, go to a different location, and just outspot them one at a time. Take them out as quickly and as quickly as you can. Because as soon as you get surrounded in this thing, if you're not up against an invisible wall, like I am right now, and you get encircled, you're done. There's literally nothing you can do. It cannot turn fast enough to engage tanks that are encircling you, and its traverse and ground resistances are kind of ass, but they are severely limited compared to what the Tier 10 is. The Tier 10 turns on a dime in siege mode. This thing, not so much. It's like a heavy tank turning, like IS-7 or something. That's how slow it turns in siege mode. It's not terrible, mind you, if you're in the back like you're supposed to be, sniping like you're supposed to be, then that doesn't really bother you that much, because, you know, you got a greater range to move, and you only have to move just a little tiny bit to hit every target in your view range. Just don't ever try and brawl with this thing. Even if they have a gun caliber that can't auto-pen your front, they can still aim for that weak point, commander hatch, whatever you want to call it, viewport. I don't know if it's both or one of the other. So right here I decide to load a high explosive round after I miss him again. But it's okay, because my aiming balloon was the size of his tank, and yet somehow I managed to miss. I don't know why I tried to shoot a high explosive there, but now I'm on to my 350mm penetration fuck you APCR rounds. So if I hit him, he's going to die, regardless of what he is. And it's just so great. Now when you get rushed, there's very little you can do. Just accept that you can't win this one. It's very team reliant. It's very map based. Obviously, if you get like Ghost Town, Himmelsdorf or something, you can make it work, but it's a lot more difficult to do that when you don't get maps, or when you get maps that are like town based for heavies and mediums and tank destroyers, well, armored tank destroyers. Turreted tank destroyers, I should say. But when you get maps like Malinovka and Prokhorovka and any wide open maps that you can possibly think of, where you can snipe and use ridge lines and just abuse the fuck out of your tank, really. When you can't do that, this thing's a piece of shit. And you can see that I have a small vent kit and a large vent kit, because if you get set on fire, chances are they've already gotten to your side, and if they've gotten to your side, it's a game over already. So, if they track you once, I got a small med kit. If they damage my engine and track me at the same time, I got a large repair kit. And if they hit my gun, I'm fucked because I don't have armorer on. And right here is probably the biggest mistake I make in this game. I just rush forward and trying to get this kill. I'm like, oh, he'll just rush me. He has to come from this side of the tracks to get me. And for some reason, I think I went out of siege mode there. Like, I didn't know what was happening. I really didn't. So I just I froze up there. I don't know what happened. But he's dead. Match is over. And I did everything in my power to abuse all the strengths of my tank. And this is the result. 10,000 X 10,000 experience. 10,000 combined damage with assistance and base put together. I'm pleased with this. This is probably the best game I've ever had in this tank so far. Oh, I love it so much. When it works. When it doesn't, I just want to pull my hair out. Over and over again. But, hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.